Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you're well. Hope you're having an amazing day. So, I wanted to come on and just share a little bit with you about what I think our call to action is for International Women's Day. It is 2025. However, the content in this video is definitely relevant um, even today. So I want to say that no matter when you're watching this, if it's 2025, 2026, the information in this video is relevant in how we accelerate action. And so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share this presentation, which I hope will serve as a course or a master class around what are some actions we need to take and as a checklist on what we have accomplished and what we haven't, where the work is that we still need to do. And so I'm hoping today's presentation, today's content will help generate some conversations and some ideas around that. If wherever you're watching this video in the chat or above or below, if you would just add what you are doing, what you suggest, maybe your ideas around the strategy around accelerating action toward gender equality. So I'm going to share my screen and let's get started. Oops, got to get used to this, right? And let's do screen number two. There we go. There we go. And so I will be in and out. I will move throughout this, but I want you to see me. But then at some points, I may just do full screen so you can read it better. And so I just want to at least say hello at the beginning of this and show my face. So it is definitely an honor to be able to share this content. I did share it earlier. I had a presentation earlier today, which is March 8th, 2025. I had a presentation today for International Women's Day on this, and I thought I'd record it and share it with my community and those who are connected with me. Because I do think that this is a collective effort. And so I'm going to encourage you to join in this with me. So, to accelerate action is the theme for 2025. And I want to first say that today is more than about celebration or celebrating women achievements. Yes, we want to do that. Thank you all who are doing amazing things and are doing amazing things. We commit to taking decisive steps that drive tangible progress toward a world where gender equality is no longer a distant goal, but a present reality. And in order to do that, there are lots of things that we need to do. In case you don't know who I am, let me tell you who I am. I am Dr. Tammy, and I believe that you should live with purpose and purpose on purpose. So everything that I do starts with purpose and is very intentional. I am a solutionist, I am a strategist. So not only do we think about solutions, which is what this presentation offers, I also want us to build a strategy around it. So I will also share some strategy around what we should do and to start the conversation. I would love to continue this conversation. I would love to continue this work with you. So if you are interested, whether you are a man or a woman, male or female, I encourage you to reach out to me and connect with me. So my brand, my company is Catalyst for Change Global, and it is a learning and development company. And we seek to provide opportunities, tools, strategies, resources for you to move in the direction of more and prepare for what's next in life, education, and or business. A big part of my brand is building cocoon experiences that are innovative, transformative, and safe because we want transformation happens. And as I mentioned before, the foundation of what I do, what we do at Catalyst for Change Global starts with purpose, connecting to your purpose on purpose and the mindset work. So anything that I do, it starts with the mindset. And so you'll notice that that is a thread and something that's in there. You'll hear purpose and you'll hear mindset and moving and about this manifesting more. So, my brand is a lifestyle and a movement to transform your life, your business through learning, through development, through reading. You notice we have a book club and travel. And so that is what I do. A little thing that this presentation is my intellectual property, so I do want to share that with you. And if you desire copies or would like to share this, I ask that you reach out to me for permission first. So let's talk about four things that I want to talk about today. And I think four is the big thing. Maybe it's for Catalyst for Change, but I will have four agenda items, and there's four things I want to talk about. So we're going to talk about the on the agenda the urgency of now. We'll talk about the four strategies that I propose. We'll talk about our collective action and responsibility, and then I will call you to action. What is it you going to do? All right. So let's just jump right into it. Let's just dive into it and let's get started into those four areas. And I think you should be able to see everything now. So we come together and support each other. That's kind of what this presentation is about. So I think that is the highlight of what's going on and why do we need to accelerate action. At this current rate, the rate that we're progressing now, gender parity won't be reached until 2158. That's 133 years from now. That's more than a century from now. So, therefore, we must act now because at this current rate of progress, it will roughly take 5 generations to reach full gender parity. And that is acceptable. We cannot afford to wait. We have um, more important, and more importantly, the next generation of women and girls. So if we think about your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, your great great grandchildren, like 5 generations from now, we cannot afford to wait. We must act now together and with urgency. So that is my plea to you is that to accelerate action is more than a theme. It is a call to action. It is our commitment to dismantling systemic barriers, challenging biases, and ensuring that every woman and girl has access to opportunities, resources, and support that she needs to thrive. And it means taking what works, amplifying it, and moving faster. So, as the catalyst and founder of Catalyst for Change Global, I have seen firsthand how targeted action can create lasting change. And through my holistic approach to learning and development, I work with women worldwide on purpose, planning, career transitions, and personal growth. And today, what I want to share with you is four strategic approaches to accelerating the action. And we're going to talk about how we can accelerate action through education, economic development, and technology. So, y'all know I had to include technology. I could not include technology. Oh, so yeah, so that's where we are. So let's talk about strategy one. So, the first thing that I want us to think about is this idea of accelerating action through education and learning. A big part of my brand is learning and development, so career development, and I talk a lot about upskilling, reskilling, and retooling. And so, one of the things that I'm going to propose is for us to think about how we can create pathways for women to advance in their careers. Education is the foundation of progress. Yet millions of girls worldwide still lack access to quality education. And women remain underrepresented in high growth sectors such as technology, finance, entrepreneurship, engineering. So, what works? So some of the things that I encourage you to think about is some of the things, the areas that may be a target for you to consider. One of those is STEM and the digital literacy programs. So those initiatives that are around science, technology, engineering, and math. We must scale those initiatives like coding boot camps, blockchain education, STEM mentorship programs, because those equip women with the skills needed for the digital economy. And that is definitely something that we've seen more recently. It's definitely a wave of the future. Many people were skeptical years ago. I remember 5, 6 years ago, people were like, I don't know what that is. Few people were in, but now more and more people are aware, and we can see that that's where we're moving. Make sure that women are continuously upskilling, reskilling, and you as women are doing that as well. The job market is always evolving, is always revolving, it's doing that rapidly. And so we need more accessible, affordable programs for women to upskill, reskill, or retool, I like to say, in some of these emerging industries and leadership roles. So, what are those opportunities and affordable? So, if there's a course that you see online, something offered free, take advantage of it. There's organizations that are offering programs. It's not as many free programs and low cost programs as they were years ago. But I will say that there are still some. And when you come across one, take advantage of it, because as we move toward, and I used to say 2025, and it's true, but even as we move beyond 2025, more and more of those will be at a cost. And most of them are offered at a cost that is unreasonable, and definitely not affordable for many. The other option, the third one for this strategy I would offer, is removing biases in educational materials. So if you are creating materials that you're training employees or students or other people, colleagues, people that you are encountering with every day, your organization, that from the classroom to corporate trainings, that you consider how those materials are structured, what you include in those materials. And so we as women, and those of us who are advocates of gender equality, of including more women in all these spaces, is that they're also in the materials, the things that we're reading, the things that we are ingesting, from the classroom to the corporate trainers. We must be the auditors. We must audit and revise those educational materials and content to eliminate gender bias and promote diversity. Diverse roles, role models. Representation matters, despite what the world will tell you right now. And some of the parts, some of the people who are leading, who are the leaders in some of the countries, despite what they say, representation matters, and we must promote diverse role models in doing that. I do have a community. Many of you are part of my community already, where I am adding, like this presentation, courses and learning into my community, which is a separate app. And I encourage you at the end of this to go to my link tree and join our community. It's free to join, and then you have access to other things within that community. Some of the things that I'll mention today during this presentation, but we have even opportunities for employment, and for you to access to a job board and job postings. All of that is built into the community, or an option for you as an upgrade. And so you can check those out, because we know that it's, it's, it's not only important to educate, but also directly connect women to career opportunities and collaborations and partnerships and all those things that I like to include within my community. And those you have access within my community, because this is how we bridge the gap between education and economic independence. So let's talk about the economics, shall we? And so the next strategy I'm going to offer is accelerate action through economic empowerment. Invest in women, support women owned businesses, and financial independence. Financial independence, we know, is the cornerstone of gender equality. A lot around what you hear is about the pay gap. Yet women-owned businesses receive only a fraction of venture capital funding, scholarships, grants, all those things. The gender pay remains a persistent issue as well. And so there are some things that we can do. We can invest in women entrepreneurs, government, private sectors, wherever you play, whatever your playground is, that you make sure that you have you establish more focused funding programs, incubators, accelerators for women. And I'm going to remove my face so you can see that. Um, The other thing, pay transparency, equal pay policy. So your organizations that you are involved in or that you're part of could implement pay more flexible. Organization may implement transparent pay structures and regular audit pay scales to eliminate disparities. The third thing for this one is also the flexible work policies, remote work, flexible schedules, hybrid work, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for where you work, where you are, maybe the business that you own. Empower women to balance career aspirations with personal responsibilities. And so that is really key to that. And so I like to help women with purpose driven strategies as they transition careers, start businesses, or create sustainable income streams, because I want us to keep these things in mind. Not only what you are being paid or your fee, but also the schedule you create, that you make sure you have time for the things you need, and that you create space for other women. And so by providing mentorships, access to funding, upskilling opportunities, we can accelerate economic empowerment and generational wealth. It's amazing how that indirectly happens. And if you can't invest in the ways that I've talked about right now, even sharing someone's business, visiting, spending your money with someone's business, going to a woman-owned business, and and buying something, using them over one of the larger brands and competitors, thinking about being intentional about how you target your support. And that's why I say support, because support doesn't always have to be monetary. It could definitely be other ways that create money, income streams for other people. Just by you sharing someone else's business may actually um, get other people to come. So even though you may not be spending your dollar, someone else may be, because of your recommendation and what you have shared on your social media, when you're in a conversation, depending on the platform. The third one is strategy I'm going to offer today, or approach, is to accelerate action through leadership. And I believe in personal purpose driven development. And so when I think about talent development, career development, when I think about learning and development, I think about it being purpose driven. We must empower women to lead with clarity and intention, which is why most of what I do is around clarity. You got to clarify your vision before you can implement something and put something into action. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made, yet, despite the progress, leadership roles in politics, corporations, and entrepreneurship remain male dominated. So sometimes you'll have to decide, what is it you need, sponsorship or mentorship? Many times women need sponsorship, and I'll talk a little bit about the difference. Sponsorship Mentorship is when you just answer a question, you point someone in the right direction, you get them on their way. Whereas sponsorship is where you actually speak their name in the room. You know enough about them, you know about their skill set, their abilities, their excellence, and you can actually mention their name in a room. Whether somebody needs a panelist, a speaker, whether they need someone to do a website, whatever their industry is or business, you can offer that woman. Women don't just need advice, we need advocates who will actively champion us for leadership roles. The other thing about leadership is training and networking opportunities. So, whether you're establishing them or you're participating in them, thinking about training and networking opportunities. Establishing women leadership academies, global forums, executive coaching programs are critical to this work. And so I am actually creating one. I actually have a leadership program that I am creating within the community. So if you're in the Catalyst for Change community, you will see it soon once I get it completed to pop up as an option for you to upgrade or select that as an option to take advantage of. The third thing for strategy 3 is policy and governance reform. So this is where you think about organizations you're in, the places you occupy, even the government, which is now becoming more of a challenge during this new administration. But where are you? Um, Create accountability measures and promote inclusive leadership pipelines. So even though you may not use the same language, the work is the same and you can still do the same thing. And so some of the same things you'll see in the community is you'll see how I have 5 phases of my purpose planning system, which kind of guides you through this idea of create helping you get clarity for your vision, creating an action plan, executing that strategy, so the action, but also monetizing it. So it goes across both the economic, the leadership, and the education. So we should empower women to take control of their narratives and become decision makers in their industry. And that's my goal. That's what I'm here to do. And that's what I hope you will be a part of. And the last one, before I wrap up for today and for this particular video, is strategy 4, accelerating action through technology, digital literacy. So we need to stay up to date with emerging technologies to remain competitive. It's not just staying ahead, but staying ahead means staying informed. So sometimes it's just being in the know and staying current. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to learn that technology and be a guru about it. It just means that you are learning it. And so I'm going to encourage you to think about it as emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity are reshaping industries. Yet, women remain underrepresented in these spaces. So, we must ensure women are not just users of the technology, but also the creators, the innovators, and the leaders in the field. And so, I really want you to consider, which are you going to do? Are you going to be a creator, an innovator, or a leader? Maybe you just champion the conversations, but you invite the expertise in. That's we can all play a role. And I encourage you that if nothing else, that's what you do. So one, we got to consider bridging the digital divide, expanding access to high-speed internet devices, digital education, um, maybe the devices, not only high speed internet, but the devices, digital education that ensures women can fully participate in the digital economy. The second thing is training and certifications. Take advantage of trainings and certifications. Like I said earlier, there's a course offered, take it. Providing women with hands on experience in AI and blockchain and cloud computing, things like that, opens doors to higher paying careers. And so, if we're going to do that, I encourage you to consider how you either offer that if you're an expert in that, or how do you participate if you need to learn more, if you're still a little behind the curve. The third thing is promoting women in leadership in tech spaces. So encouraging and supporting women to take on leadership roles in tech companies or startups ensures that technology is built with inclusivity in mind. And that's part of it. So we need women present. Women are part of the conversation. And so I want to encourage you to think about how you are learning more about the technology. This is accelerating action through technology. And so I just wanted to bring it all together with this, because this kind of brings it all in: the education, the economic empowerment, leadership, and now the technology. Because when you equip people with the skills and the confidence, they can lead in Web3 or AI and beyond. By integrating digital literacy into mainstream education, professional development, we are preparing women for jobs of tomorrow. And a lot of what I do, even in as a college professor, I incorporate digital literacy as a part of my courses and a part of everything that I do, no matter where I am, because it's important to making sure that we're all competitive and we're all leading. So here's a call to action. A call to action for us is, what action will you take? Will you mentor young women in your field? Will you advocate for pay equity in the workplace? Will you support and or invest in women-led businesses? How are you taking action? And those are just things I want you to think about as we move, and think about our collective responsibility. The responsibility to accelerate action does not solely rest on women's shoulders. So I want to say, if there are any men a part of my community and men watching this, it requires the active participation of men as allies, policymakers as enforcers of change, and businesses as drivers of innovation and inclusion. It requires solidarity, commitment, and a willingness to dismantle outdated systems that no longer serve a just and equitable world. And we can't go back. I know that was a theme, and now it's really real. Like, we can't go back. So, your call to action is to think about what we're up against. We cannot wait 133 years for gender equality. The time to act is now. So I challenge you today to think about, what action will you take? These 4 questions. And get out your journal, get out your paper if you haven't already. Hopefully you already had it out, but if you haven't had your paper out, to get out your paper and answer these questions. What steps are you taking, or are you willing to take in your own life to uplift and support the women around you? Man, male or female, man or woman, answer the question. Because like I said, it's a collective effort and it's a collective responsibility and action. So we need to take action together, which can be powerful to build community and make a difference. As women, to just talk to my women for a minute, we have the power to uplift and empower each other. By building a strong community and supporting each other, we can achieve great things and create positive change in the world. So together, let's push boundaries, let's demand better policies, implement effective strategies, and commit to real change. Let's accelerate action, not just in words, but in what we do, in our deeds. Because when we accelerate action for gender equality, we accelerate progress for everyone. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and engaging and commenting after you watched it, above or below, wherever you're seeing this. This is, of course, if you are not connected to my community and someone has shared this with you, or you're seeing this on my YouTube channel or somewhere else, I do want you to know that you can connect with me. You can scan the QR code if you're not on the device. If you're on your device, there's the link as well to go to my link tree. Check out what's there. Join the Catalyst for Change global community. Start there, and then you can upgrade and engage at the level that you feel comfortable. My social media handle is there. I'm Dr. Tammy Francis everywhere. And of course, we have our C4C Global one, the number one, that's everywhere as well. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.